This is Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motor news and features TV and online magazine. I am Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Tim Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for. On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss Piston's transport strike. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smart portion centers on what to do when one encounters a double solid yellow line. This week's Spying Chaper shall be about the importance of respecting pedestrians. Showcase this week shall have the pickup from GWM, the Cannon. While for race weekend, we shall have the highlights of the 2023 Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup Leg 3.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are on this week's episode of Motoring Today. Join us.
Life should be filled with stories to be liked and loved. Elevate your drive with the new Honda City. Take value and performance to the next level so you can view more places and check into new experiences. With Honda Sensing, you can do all these with peace of mind with its modern design and advanced features. The new Honda City is for those who are ready to step up their game. The new Honda City. Elevate your drive.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management. The December 31, 2023 deadline for consolidation is fast approaching, and PUV operators are reminded about the consequences of not complying with the requirement.
Operators of public utility vehicles need to be members of an existing cooperative or have applied for consolidation with other transport firms in order to renew registration of their units with the Land Transportation Office next year. And reminding PUV operators about the December 31, 2023 deadline for consolidation, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board also pointed out that technically PUVs won't be able to ply their routes without renewing their LTO registration. It will be the LTFRB that will confirm whether the PUV operator is already a co-op member or have started the process of consolidation before the year-end deadline. An LTFRB press statement said 129,568 public utility Jeeps, UV Express, mini buses, and public utility buses have already consolidated, making up around 65% of all franchised PUVs. By this count, 69,665 PUVs of individual franchise holders remain unconsolidated or members of a cooperative.
Transport authorities appear to be steadfast in enforcing the end-of-year deadline for PUVs to consolidate and modernize. Still, they appear to be willing to bend over backwards to achieve full compliance. Meanwhile, case in point about bending over backwards is the LTFRB easing some of the worries of PUV drivers and operators, as well as commuters, of the consequences of consolidation and modernization.
LTFRB Chairperson Teofilo Guadis III has assured drivers and operators of traditional jeepneys that they can continue plying their routes using their old units even after the year-end deadline for consolidation. In a recent press conference, Guadis also indicated that the LTFRB will consider the PUV operators as having substantially complied with the consolidation requirement once they begin the process of filing for compliance. According to Guadis, even the process of consolidation has not yet been completed. The LTFRB will consider the act of filing as substantial compliance with the requirement, and they will be allowed to continue operations. He assured drivers and operators that the LTFRB will give them an ample amount of time to complete the consolidation process. The LTFRB chief also said it is not true that PUV operators will have to replace old traditional jeepneys with modern jeepneys within 3 to 9 months following consolidation. He said operators are given 27 months or more to transition from traditional to modern jeepney units. Wattis said traditional jeepneys can still ply the routes as long as LTO considers them roadworthy.
The resistance to modernization could only end with PUV drivers and operators feeling confident that they won't be losing their livelihoods. It's the government's job to give them that confidence. Continuing, the MMDA is now busy nabbing private motorists and motorcycle riders and imposing stiffer fines and penalties, hoping this would be enough to keep the EDSA busway clear for authorized buses.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority has begun to intensify operations to apprehend motorists and motorcycle riders caught inside the EDSA busway lane. The intensified drive to catch EDSA busway violators began along with the imposition of stiffer fine and penalties. From 1,000 pesos for every violation, the fine has been raised to 5,000 for the first offense, 10,000 for a second offense plus 1 month license suspension, 20,000 for a third offense plus 1 year license suspension, and 30,000 for a fourth offense, and a letter to the Land Transportation Organization recommending a permanent revocation of the driver's license. The MMDA reports that since the start of the intensified drive against EDSA busway violators, the average number of those apprehended trended lower with each day. The MMDA said many of these apprehended were not aware of the increase in fines and the suspension of licenses. The MMDA hopes that as more and more motorists and motorcycle riders become aware of the substantial increase in fines and stiffer penalties, the number of violations will decrease to zero.
Only a relentless driver will succeed in keeping the EDSA busway clear of violators. Motorists and motorcycle riders should learn the hard way that they would surely suffer fines and lose licenses when caught using the EDSA busway. And finally, it's long been quiet on the motor vehicle inspection front. The latest news may be of interest to those looking to set up one.
The Department of Transportation has announced it has opened one slot for a private motor vehicle inspection center or PMVIC in Santa Maria, Bulacan. Those who are interested to operate a PVMIC to inspect and certify motor vehicles as complying with emission standards and roadworthiness must submit the application and required documents on or before 12 noon of December 15, 2023 at the Franchising Review Staff Office of the DOTR. The applicants must also pay a non-refundable application fee of 50,000 pesos. The applications will be opened at 2 p.m. on the same day in the presence of all applicants or their authorized representatives.
There are people wondering if transportation authorities are still moving to finally phase out private emission testing centers to make way for private motor vehicle inspection centers. And those are the latest news and developments in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. The MMDA claims the strike staged by Piston did not have much effect on public transport in Metro Manila. It may have also failed to persuade the public and other transport groups to support their stand against transport modernization.
It appears to be desperate times for members of the transport group called Piston or Pagkakaisa ng mga Samahan ng Tsuper at Operator nationwide. The group again staged a transport strike in Metro Manila to protest against the mandate for all jeepney drivers and operators to consolidate franchises under a corporation or cooperative as part of the government's PUV modernization program. The deadline for consolidation, December 31, 2023, is fast approaching. Those who have not yet complied with the consolidation mandate fear that they would lose their franchises and livelihood past the deadline. Transport authorities have warned that failure to consolidate and begin the process of shifting to operate using jeepneys that meet modern standards set by government would mean cancellation of franchises. The latest transport strike is meant to show that public transport in Metro Manila would be paralyzed or severely hampered if jeepney drivers stop plying their routes. It is also meant to air grievances against the PUV modernization program and calling for abolition of the consolidation requirement as well as proposed amendments to the Omnibus Franchising Guidelines. The entire grievances boil down to, as viewed by Piston members, the shift to modern jeepneys as being anti-poor. Even with all financing incentives provided by government, acquiring modern jeepneys to replace aging traditional jeepneys was unaffordable to the ordinary operator, especially individual franchise holders. However, government authorities have learned to deal with and have been successful at minimizing effects to paralyzed transport in Metro Manila. Metropolitan Manila Development Authority Chairman Don Artes claimed the first day of the 3-day transport strike called by Piston failed to affect public transport much. Artes said whatever problems faced by commuters in some areas of the metro may have been the result of the usual morning rush hour traffic. He added that only a few buses and other vehicles they pre-positioned at strategic routes to provide free rides to stranded commuters were actually used. Artes indicated the transport strike was not supported by many jeepney drivers themselves who continued to ply their routes, and only 66 of the 686 vehicles they prepared for free rides were used for the first. The MMDA's chief observation confirmed what Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board Chairman Teofilo Guadis III said during the eve of the strike. Guadis said major transport groups in the country expressed commitment not to support the strike. This statement can also be understood to mean that major transport groups support the PUV modernization program.
Modernization looks to be inevitable as a lot of the big transport groups are learning to benefit from financial and other incentives from the program. Transport authorities and the MMDA have also learned how to blunt effects of Tigil Pasada demonstrations. That's our Motoring Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track, and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
You are back with us here on Motoring Today, and we now have this week's important motoring tips, starting off with some road safety reminders from Toyota Motor Philippines.
As seen on the animation, you should always keep right while plying on roads with double solid yellow lines or else maaari kang maaksidente. Kadalasang makikita ang double solid yellow line sa mga tulay at mga blind curves. If you are on a double solid yellow line, huwag mag-overtake or mag-counterflow. Stay on your lane to ensure safety.
Continuing with this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. Here's Spying Chuper this week.
Payong Chuper lang, kaibigan. Ako po si Ka Jojo Martin, isang kapwa nyo, Chuper. Bigyang prioridad ang mga pedestrian.
Matutong magbigay daan sa mga tumatawid na pedestrian, lalo na sa mga bata at matatanda. Tumigil sandali at huwag magmadali. Maging mapagpasensya upang makaiwas na rin sa disgrasya. Siguraduhin na buo ang iyong atensyon sa pagmamaneho at sa lahat ng nasa paligid mo.
Bukod sa iyong mga pasahero, huwag ring kalimutang irespeto ang mga tao sa labas ng sasakyan. Ito po si Ka Jojo Martin, payong tsoper lang kaibigan, mula sa isang kapwa niyo tsoper.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsports is next.
In motorsports news, Inigo Anton looks to sew up the championship of the 2023 Sea Oil Radical Challenge Philippines in the fourth and final round, which was to be held at the Clark International Speedway on November 25. The reigning champion of the Radical Challenge had earlier swept all three races of Round 3 held at Clark International Speedway on October 27 and 29. Inigo ruled Round 3 qualifying and won all three races, two of them from pole position. Joaquin Garrido of Parts Pro Racing finished in second behind Anton in all three races. Miguel Quinones of DRQ Motorsports finished third in races 1 and 2. Jason Chua Chui in the number 78 track hose was the last man on the podium in race 3. Anton had also dominated Round 2 of the 2023 Sea Oil Radical Challenge Philippines, winning all three races held at the Batangas Racing Circuit after less than stellar performance in Round 1 held at Clark, where he recorded a second-place finish at a DNF. In other motorsports news, Paui Base of PMMS Rennsport Racing Team set the overall best time and production front wheel best time of the day during the 10th leg of the Race Motorsports Club National Slalom Series held at Robinsons Gapan in Nueva Ecija. Nico Sagawinit of Carrera Pilipinas team was second quickest overall, just 16 hundredths of a second from Paui Base's winning time. Third quickest was Rod Chang of RC Racing. Fourth was Austin Sarmiento of Shell Racing. Fifth was Martina Sofia Munoz of Rod Lea Racing. And sixth was JC Allarde. Behind Base in the production front wheel category were Miko Sagawinit in second, Rod Chang third, Martina Sofia Munoz fourth, JC Allarde fifth, and Christine Torres sixth. Austin Sarmiento recorded the rear wheel production best time of the day with Joseph Ortega of Ponga Racing Team in second. Miko Sagawinit was the quickest among novices in the 10th leg of the 2023 National Slalom Series, followed by Austin Sarmiento in second, Martina Sofia Munoz third, JC Allarde fourth, Christine Torres fifth, and July Dionson sixth.
More on the world of motorsports here on Motoring Today, as we now give you Race Weekend. Race Weekend takes us back to the exciting final leg of the 2023 Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup at the Clark International Speedway, where the championships in both the Vios Cup Series and the Autocross Challenge were decided.
I guess a while ago's race was wild. That was something unreal, but I guess me, John, and Sir Red actually got through it, so I'm feeling pretty good for the next coming race, and I'm hoping everybody has a good time and we're not gonna get into any major accidents. I guess the challenges were having the slow drivers in front. I mean, it really caused us to all bunch up, and we just had to take our time to get through them instead of go left and right and just get out of pace.
Actually, the most challenging part is the weight bala. So me and Red was carrying 60 kilos weight bala. So we actually don't know how to carry it on the times, on the lap times. But I tried to focus on my driving, don't make a mistake, because that's the most advantage that you can get. I'm actually hoping for next season for another series, and hopefully we could see another car on the grid.
Yung whole experience itself talaga, first of all, I'm really grateful to Toyota Motor Philippines for allowing all of us na maging racers for 3 wonderful weekends. Sobrang overwhelming talaga. Although it's not my first, pero yung feeling na makapag-race using the Vios Cup cars, it's wala talagang doon. Wala talagang papantay doon sa feeling na yun. So thank you. Growing up as a car guy na mahilig sa auto since I was a kid, sobrang nakakatuwa isipin that I get to race, to be invited into race as the Vios Cup. Yung podiums for the past legs ng series, sobrang bonus na lang yun eh. You just to join, just to be able to be around these wonderful racers, yun talaga yung best experience sa lahat.
Well, it definitely feels good because it cements my position for the endurance later. And overall, it was a really tiring race, but we managed to stay in front, keep composure. But props to the other guys, sila Russell and Myla, they're really fast. It was really tough, it was really tiring. It was really hot at the start, especially coming from the pre-grid, but some tight bouts. But overall, it was a great race. I had really a lot of fun. I'm thankful to be here.
Since this is the grand finale of the 2023 season, we made it extra special, both for the racers and our racing fans, the spectators. So firstly, I think the biggest highlight for this leg is that for the first time, we are doing the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup Grand Prix. So that's 1 hour and 30 minutes of racing on the track, featuring our circuit championship racers, and whoever gets the most laps on the track will win. And another thing why this leg is extra crucial and extra exciting is that just like in the previous seasons, the racers get double points for this leg. So our leaderboards from the first and second legs of the Gazoo Racing Vios Cup 2023 can still change. So, but the good news is we will find out later within the day who will be the season champions for this year. And at the same time, part of how we are adding improvements and extra elements to our Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup programs, we have invited some car club members to bring their cars and test their GR cars on the track. And at the same time, just like what we did at the GR Fest, we found out the excitement of watching drifting exhibitions. We also brought that into the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup program, inviting our world-class Filipino drifters to do some driving exhibition on the track for our audience.
It was another successful season for the country's longest-running one-make racing series, and already Toyota is planning for the 10th running of the Vios Cup, something drivers and teams competing in the Circuit Championships and Autocross Challenge, as well as fans and race enthusiasts, are already looking forward to. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. We'll be back after this short break.
take the lead.
If you're having problems sa cars, if there's any problems, especially with the paint, if you wanted to have the paint corrected, just let us know, just give us a call, drop by our shop so we could assess para we could show you and give you yung gagawin natin sa cars nyo, especially for the paint job. So we could detail the car and probably put ceramic coating on it. Our shop also offers ceramic coating, interior, exterior, engine, and glass detailing. We also offer premium car wash. We also do paint job, certain panels na kailangan natin i-repaint. So we also do that. We also do a wash over paint also for cars. So,
Our Car of the Week is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. The local pickup truck segment is also crowded with entries, many from new brands coming into the local market. One of the relative newcomers is the Cannon from Great Wall Motors, the subject of this Showcase.
GWM Philippines appears to have serious intentions of making it big in the local automotive market. Early this year, the GWM launched a lineup that included 3 SUV crossovers, the Haval Jolion, the Haval Jolion HEV, the Haval H6, and several variants of the Cannon pickup. GMW now offers the Cannon in 3 main variants, the Cannon S Lux, Lux, and Pilot. All are available with either a 4x4 or a 4x2 drivetrain. In this car review, we focus on the higher-end S-Lux and Lux variants. The Cannon S-Lux and Lux look both utilitarian and handsome, with a massive grille with thick horizontal bars, hefty bumpers, self-guard, and just right-sized over fenders. The Cannon is larger than most of the competition in mid-size pickup segment at 5,410mm long, 1,934mm wide, and 1,886mm tall, with a 3,230mm long wheelbase. It also comes with a massive squared cargo bed with 1,520mm sides and 540mm deep. The Cannon has large wheel arches which may look better with tires and wheels larger than the stock 265/60 R18 that come with both S-Lux and Lux variants. GWM outfitted the S-Lux 4x4 and 4x2, as well as the Lux 4x4 and 4x2 with advanced exterior features that include automatic LED electronically adjustable headlamps, daytime running lamps, follow me home lights, LED tail lamps and third brake lamp, front and rear fog lamps, and electronically adjustable side view mirrors with turn signals and auto fold function. Loading cargo onto the pickup bed with a sprayed-on bed liner is made easier with hydraulic assisted tailgate. Side steps help with getting into the Cannon, also making it more convenient for getting into and starting the Cannon S-Lux and Lux is a smart keyless entry with push-button start system. It's in the cabin where the differences between the S-Lux and Lux are seen. The Cannon has a roomier cabin with more legroom than most of the competition. The S-Lux features leather-wrapped multifunction steering wheel that tilts and telescopes. There are buttons and switches on the steering to control various technologically advanced functions of the Cannon. The Lux steering wheel also tilts and telescopes and also features multifunction buttons and switches, but without the leather, just your polyurethane. Another obvious difference is the 7-inch color display for the instrument cluster on the S-Lux. The S-Lux seats are upholstered in genuine leather. The driver's seat electronically adjusts 6 ways, the front passenger seat 4 ways. The S-Lux rear bench seat has the center headrest not found on the Lux. The S-Lux and Lux share similar automatic air conditioning systems with rear AC vents and PM 2.5 filter, as well as 9-inch touchscreen for the infotainment system compatible with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, USB port, and DVR portal. But the S-Lux got 2 more speakers than the Lux, 6 to 4. Powering both Cannon S-Lux and Lux is a 2-liter turbocharged diesel engine that churns out 161 horsepower and a massive 400 Nm of torque made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The 4x4 drivetrain on both variants is all-wheel drive with torque-in-demand system. Despite its size, the Cannon is quite nimble on the road, whether paved or unpaved. The front double wishbone suspension and the leaf spring rigid axle system in the rear allow for comfortable and stable ride, whether laden with cargo and passengers or not. Stopping power is more than adequate for the pickup of its size and weight, using brake discs on all four wheels, ventilated in front and solid in the rear. The Cannon is already equipped with an electric parking brake system with auto hold, very convenient and helpful especially in stop-and-go traffic. Standard features in both, as well as the Lux 4x4 and 4x2, are anti-lock brake system with electronic brake force distribution, brake assist, hill descent control, hill start assist control, roll movement intervention, vehicle stability control system. Great to have driving on switchbacks and rolling hills, or just to keep the driver safe when getting too aggressive on the road. Parking or navigating tight spaces is made easier on the S-Lux by the 360 view camera and front and rear sensors. Helping protect passengers in accidents are 4 airbags, 3-point ELR seatbelts for 5, ISOFIX tethers. Adding to safety and security are automatic central door locking, tire pressure monitoring system, automatic fuel cutoff function, and engine immobilizer.
The GWM Cannon has got the name, the look, features, and performance to make a dent in the local pickup market. How big a dent may be down to brand acceptance. That's our featured vehicle on this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry takes center stage.
Honda Cars Philippines recently launched the all-new Honda CR-V, rolling out 3 variants that included the top-of-line 2.0 RSE HEV CVT that came with a hybrid powertrain. Honda invited several members of the motoring and social media to a road trip from Manila to Bataan and Subic.
The purpose of this event is to test the capability of this model at the actual road situation in the Philippines.
The drive provided the opportunity to experience how the all-new CR-V performs on the road with a full hybrid powertrain that combines Honda's advanced gasoline engine and electrification technologies, as well as with a turbocharged 1.5-liter direct injection DOHC VTEC gasoline engine. All throughout the drive, participants discovered the benefits offered by Honda Connect. The all-new CR-V is the first model in Honda's local lineup to feature Honda Connect.
During the test drive, we actually showcased the latest upgrade of the technology of the new Honda CR-V, especially the eHEV and also VTEC Turbo. Both of those delivers the customers outstanding driving pleasure and exceptional environmental performances. And also we demonstrated the Honda Connect, which we initially introduced in the Philippine market with this model. With advanced telematic technologies, we enable the customers the seamless connection with the vehicles with the smartphone application for enhancement of the safety, security, and the convenience for them.
And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 37th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Tin Gamboa.
Happy motoring!